What's going on, everybody? You're listening to episode 20, the big 2-0 of Trash G Radio. I'm your host, Tyler, joined today by the frag master himself, Lucas.
Hello.
And concussion man himself, Chantz.
What's going on?
How's your New Year's, boys?
It was a great time.
It was lit. Thanks for having us.
Lucas, you were heavily intoxicated.
Yeah, I was here to have a good time, and that's what I did.
You definitely had a good time. And Chantz, you pretty much concussed yourself.
Again, yep. This time was voluntary, though, so...
So, next year, we're going to have to do it involuntary.
Next year, I'm definitely buying a safety helmet. That 100% safety helmet.
All right, well, make sure you follow us at Trash Gear Sports on Twitter. Make sure you go to our YouTube, Spotify, Google Play.
Twitter.
Check us out. Twitter.
Look at our Twitter.
Yeah, make sure you check out Chance's hot tweets that he gets firing out there.
I'm firing. All cylinders.
All right, make sure you keep an eye on our YouTube. I think we're going to be doing some more content here. We've kind of discussed briefly, so we're in the works, some stuff like that. But today we're going to be talking a lot of playoff and Steeler football. But first, we're going to go with some quick fire. You boys ready?
My favorite segment.
Wow, Lucas, that's hurtful. All right, so between the 4 wildcard teams, the Colts, the Chargers, the Seahawks, and the Eagles, who's the deadliest?
Chargers.
I think the Seahawks.
I mean,
them Seahawks.
I think they're like sneaky, like if you say like who would be like a sneaky like sleeper, they'd be Seahawks or Colts. But I think the deadliest is just Chargers. I think they're just a better team.
I think the Seahawks are on a nice little streak. I think their run game is dangerous and their defense is very underrated. Plus Russell Wilson, he's clutch as hell.
Fair enough. So recently there's been a ton of coaches fired in the NFL. Which spot is the most appealing? If you look at Green Bay or Cleveland or Jets even, which one do you guys think would be most appealing?
Like if I was a head coach, where would I want to go?
Yeah, like if you could pick a spot, where would you want to go?
I'm gonna pick the Jets.
Why?
Sam Darnold is the future of the NFL. No, I'm not just him. I think they're gonna be. I think they're rebuilding, and they've been rebuilding for a while. But
If you go to the Jets, you have the most cap space in the NFL.
exactly.
You wouldn't want to go.
You live in New York.
You wouldn't want to go to Cleveland with your boy Baker?
That's true. Kind of forgot about Cleveland, honestly.
Even though
I
just
don't
said-
like the Browns. I don't like their jerseys.
See, I like their color scheme. I think brown and orange is sick.
I like the color rush ones, but I don't know.
Chance-
Big Jets.
Okay, Chance, who'd you pick? Where would you go and coach?
I would go to Cleveland.
You go to Cleveland?
Yeah, they have a really young core, but it's solid. Like their quarterback position is solidified. Their offense is pretty good. They got a good line, good tight end, good running back. Their defense is gonna get even better, I think.
Especially with Ward and
Myles Garrett. Yeah.
maturing and getting older and better. So, all right, last question. So the Vikings lost their must-win game. Last year they were in the conference championship. This year they are out of the playoffs. How screwed are the Vikings with Kirk Cousins?
I think they fucked themselves, honestly. He's definitely not worth the money they fucking paid for it. They should have just kept Case Keenum because he would have been 10 times cheaper and fucking. He could have been any
Just
worse than he
as
was
good,
last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's definitely overpaid, but I think he can have a better season. I think the team itself could have a better season. That's all.
All right, final one. I just saw this. Lucas, you had your first Smash experience on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh.
Yeah. How was your experience?
It was a good time. It was definitely better how we had it set up, like as a tournament with a bunch of friends. It was like exciting. I went like 1 win, 2 losses, I think, to me 2-2 or something, but it was a good time for not knowing any of the controls.
Now, did you face Chance?
I think I beat Chance.
He
I
did.
think-
He-
did we go 1-1 or we only faced each other once?
I think we only faced each other once.
It was close. But you also jumped off the ledge or something by yourself. I think.
Yeah, the fucking I was sitting way back in the room and I was using the Joy-Con and like it wasn't picking up.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
It wasn't picking up my moves all the time and I jumped off on accident. I couldn't jump because the controller was
So
too
he was
far
down
away.
in stock, so that helped.
Were
It
you on
was
my
fun.
team when we did the three stack tournament?
I think so.
We didn't
I don't
lose at all,
remember.
did we?
I don't remember.
No, we lost that one time whenever
You were on my team.
that one time.
It
The
was-
one time, remember, I got beat by Pinto so badly that like I think I took down 10% of his health, but
yeah,
I
but
lost
then
my
you
life.
also had that one time
I
where
also
you
had
beat
that
all,
3-0 sweep.
all three fucking opponents.
Dude, Lucaria's broken.
You had
now.
like max damage too. Like you're at like 150 damage. Like
I
one hit
literally
away.
expected Evan to run in and just like go like.
Oh,
and
I
then I'd
thought
be
I
dead.
literally thought Evan was gonna neck. Like he was so disappointed that he lost to you right
Because he
there.
was coming in tonight, oh, I'm the best Smash player, and fucking my man Jim came in and
Yeah,
destroyed him.
Shout out to Jim for the
What a guy.
New Year's Championship Smash tournament winner.
Jim's a legend in these parts.
That was fun, though. I want to do it again. It's
Oh.
fun hanging out with all the guys, too, like that.
We'll do it again. Don't worry, Lucas. We'll do it again.
Yeah, I wish Jim would come around more often. You hear that, Jim?
Maybe he's just
We know
moved
you're
here.
listening.
Jim, just live here. You can live on my couch.
That's
cool.
true.
All right. Well, let's get into it. The Pittsburgh Steelers, man, they can't. Even though they missed the playoffs, they're still probably the most talked about team right now. With drama with Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger, Mike Tomlin, the beautiful trio that they are. I'm actually going to hand this one over to Chantz to just have him just kind of tell you all the details, and then me and Lucas can come in and comment later on. So Chantz, take it away.
All right. So basically, if you don't know what's going on right now, it's basically a national sports story. Probably the most talked about sports story in America. Probably the world right now. Antonio Brown is basically trying to get himself traded out of Pittsburgh. This all started brewing last week during practice on a Wednesday, which is usually a walkthrough for the Steelers. This is the same day that Juju Smith-Schuster was awarded his MVP award by the team. After this, the team had their walkthrough. Apparently, Antonio Brown ran the wrong route, and Ben Roethlisberger called him out on it and told him, like, get someone else in here that actually wants to practice because, you know, Antonio Brown's Antonio Brown. He's all about himself. He doesn't really care or listen to anybody. At that point, Brown was immediately ticked off, stemming from the MVP award to being tired of being told what to do. He threw the ball at Ben, stormed off of practice. That was it. The Steelers tried covering it up. The next day, Antonio Brown skips practice. Mike Tomlin, the head coach, makes up this fake story that Antonio Brown has a knee issue, or Antonio Brown made up this fake story he had a knee issue. It's not really decided who made up the story yet.
I think Tomlin, I don't think he was, like, covering anything. I think he actually thinks Antonio Brown thought he was injured.
Well, anyways, Tomlin basically scheduled an MRI for Antonio Brown on Friday. Antonio Brown skips the MRI. He skips practice. Tomlin obviously tried communicating with Antonio Brown. Didn't hear anything. Saturday comes by. Also tries communicating with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown does not return any phone calls. Sunday rolls around. No one in the Steelers locker room other than Tomlin knew what was going on with Antonio Brown. They all figured he was going to play. Tomlin made the decision to not play Antonio Brown, even though Antonio Brown had his agent call Tomlin on Sunday morning and tell him that his player would be there to play. Tomlin told his agent, Drew Rosenthal, that AB was not going to play. That's just not how they do things. But he still wanted AB to show up to the game because he wanted to talk to him. AB shows up on Sunday. He's walking around the field pregame in a mink coat, not Steelers gear like any other inactive player would on any other team. Just walking around with a mink coat, a $20,000 diamond goat ring that he bought.
That thing was sick.
I didn't see it.
It's the shape of a goat head. It's covered in
Yeah,
diamonds.
it's literally all diamonds, like in the shape of a goat. It's fucking wild. But apparently he just walked around, and at halftime he left the whole stadium without telling anybody, which pissed off a lot of his teammates. Monday rolls around. It's like closing meetings for players. Like they're supposed to come in, clean out their lockers, and talk to media and stuff, give their insight on the season. Antonio Brown did not show up. Because of this, Ben and several other teammates tried calling Antonio Brown. He didn't return any of their calls. Tomlin tried calling him again, didn't return any their calls. Art Rooney II, the Steelers owner, tried calling Brown. He has not returned any calls. To this day, Antonio Brown has not returned anyone's phone calls. Then a couple nights ago, rumor has it that Antonio Brown requested a trade out of Pittsburgh. He unfollowed the Steelers on all social media.
I know it's serious.
He started flirting with some San Francisco 49ers players on Twitter, Greg Kittle, Jimmy Garoppolo. Also flirting with Brown's wide receiver Jarvis Landry, who tagged Brown and Le'Veon Bell in a Twitter post with a picture of them all from the Pro Bowl a couple years ago, saying that we should all link up, fam, in Cleveland. Brown posted his stupid ass emojis and shit. Still, there's no word of what Brown is doing up until yesterday, Wednesday, where Brown surfaced on Instagram Live with James Harrison, former Steelers linebacker who was cut by Mike Tomlin. They showed up, made an Instagram post that they were going to be releasing an interview while Mike Tomlin's press conference was going on, and reporters were asking Tomlin where Brown was or if he's heard anything. Tomlin was saying he had no idea, he has not had contact. While that's going on, Brown and Harrison are basically making fun of Tomlin, his press conference, while it's going on. They have yet to release this interview they supposedly have. We're waiting on that, if that'll ever happen. It's just a big mess for Pittsburgh. You just can't get rid of the drama, even in the offseason. Antonio Brown is one selfish dude, but he's the best wide receiver in football. It still doesn't give you a reason to act like an asshole, in my opinion. Lot of questions surrounding what's going to happen with the Steelers going forward.
Lucas?
I am so tired of hearing about this situation. Like, it's a joke how everyone's taking it, how Antonio Brown is going about, like, this whole situation. Like, you're a professional athlete, and you're acting like a diva child.
31-year-old man.
You're acting like an 11-year-old, like, such a baby. The way, like, oh, let me post emojis and shit. And, like, the fact he was listening to Mike Tomlin's press conference with James Harrison, they're mocking it. Like, it's embarrassing for, like, I can imagine how Mike Tomlin, I think he's out of the loop on this. I think they're completely clowning him. I don't think, he has anything to do with it. But, like, it's sad how, like, Antonio Brown's acting. It's disgusting.
No, I agree.
It's a joke.
As a Mike Tomlin hater, I'm really surprised he actually put his foot down and benched Brown on Sunday in a must-win game for the Steelers. Even if the Browns lost to the Ravens, it was still like a must-win in that situation. But I mean, this locker room is so toxic, and it stems from Tomlin. He gives good players like Antonio Brown the freedom to do whatever they want. If this was anyone other than Antonio Brown, this player would be cut immediately. Like, there would be no questions asked, he would be cut. But since it's Antonio Brown, the best wide receiver in football, there's different rules for him, and people in the locker room are pretty pissed off about that right now.
Well, and there's also, 21 million reasons why he wouldn't be cut right away. So, yeah, that's the big thing, is that with him requesting a trade, is that if he were to be traded, it would cost the Steelers, I think, close to $21 million in dead cap space for next year.
So there's some things coming out today that might just cost the Steelers $6 million. Like, no one knows for sure right now. They could also avoid his contract completely because he skipped practice and has not returned any phone calls from team management or the owner or anything. So there's rumor that the Steelers, if they wanted to move him or get rid of him, they could try and void his contract completely and not pay him anything, and he would actually owe them money back, his signing bonus he signed for the contract. It was like $17 million or something.
Mm-hmm. There's no point in even bringing him back at this point. What are you going to do? Like, you think he's going to calm down? You think Mike Tomlin's going to reel him in?
I literally think right now that Brown is self-sabotaging himself to get traded out of Pittsburgh.
That's what it is. Like, there's no way the Steelers can take him back. Like, cap hit or not.
The locker room has already said half of the players don't want him back. The only ones that do are Ben and a couple of the linemen who know that Brown is a significant part of their offense, and Ben knows that Brown makes him a better quarterback.
Well, yeah.
And
plus, you also got to look at, they lost. If they lose AB, they will literally lose their two best offensive players in a single season, essentially, between Bell and Brown. And I guess my concern is that, Juju's great, but I don't think he's the number one option quite yet.
I think he's there. I think he's going to do fine next year.
I don't think he's the number one option.
And if Nate Washington, if he progresses how he's supposed to progress, fucking get rid of Antonio Brown.
I think that the offense would be fine as long as Ben is there.
Yeah, me too.
Ben won a Super Bowl with scrub wide receivers his second year, and he won another Super Bowl with Santonio Holmes, an aging Hines Ward, and Nate or whatever the fuck, I can't remember his name, Nate something. But they weren't all pros or Hall of Fame players like Antonio Brown, and we haven't won anything with Antonio Brown. So I mean,
No, and I'm not saying. Believe me, I think Juju will be the number one option here within a couple years. I'm just saying, he's done great this year, but he also wasn't the one getting doubled the entire season.
I think they started doubling him once he started doing good.
he was doubled the Cincinnati game, but he still had
And how do you do in the Cincinnati?
he still had a touchdown. I think he had like 90 yards, a couple catches, if I remember correctly. But
Cincinnati isn't a great
it's
defense.
just going to be domino effect. Like, once Juju gets covered, that'll leave other guys open.
yeah,
As long as Ben Roethlisberger is a Steeler, we're a contender. That's just all it is.
I literally think right now the Steelers have to trade him. They have to trade him for draft capital because he has 2 years left on his deal, and he's leaving regardless after that. I guarantee you. If they would keep him, he is not re-signing here. He's also 31 years old, so he's no longer in his prime. He's still the best wide receiver in football, but from this point on, he's going to slowly decline.
Mm-hmm.
I think that right now you could get a decent haul for him if you would trade him.
Yeah,
I mean, hell, Amari Cooper got
I
one
was just
first
gonna
round.
say, Amari Cooper went for a first round.
I literally think you could get a first to 2 firsts, at least a second, and a good player for Antonio Brown right now.
You think?
Yes.
The team would be willing to give up 2 firsts, a second, and a decent player? Are you saying you could get
Well,
a first?
you could get 2 firsts,
plus-
or you could get a first, a second, and a decent player. In my opinion, I think that's the value for him because he still has 2 years on his contract. And if you would trade him for a decent player, yeah, you'd be paying Brown's salary, but that you wouldn't be paying that player you bring in salary. So I mean, it would kind of balance out.
Yeah,
No.
and I'm sorry, but like, it does suck how he's like making himself look because the Steelers are gonna get lowballed. But there are GMs out there who are like, we need to win like football games right now. We need to do what it takes. And if you bring Antonio Brown in, that's a huge look for your team,
Now,
no matter what his off-field antics are.
Do you think the Steelers should maybe try to go star hunting? Like, take our star wide receiver and try to go get maybe another, not necessarily a star wide receiver, even like a star defensive player or something like that?
They would for sure trade for a defensive player.
Because, I mean, out of Arizona, was he a safety, a cornerback?
He's a corner.
Corner. Just saying.
Patrick Peterson, yeah.
If you have a rookie quarterback or a sophomore quarterback, I'm sure if you had the number one wide receiver in the game, that would really help take load off.
If I'm Mike Tomlin, there's like three places I'm looking at right now. I'd send his ass to Oakland because that's a cesspool. You go over there, you're not going to win. Let's see how AB fares in a non-winning culture with like an average to decent quarterback.
I don't think Oakland would trade for him, to be honest. I mean, they traded away.
I mean, they have the draft capital.
Yeah, they do, but I mean,
Yeah,
you traded away
I don't
Khalil
think they.
Mack and Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
to
I
get
don't. I don't
Antonio
think they
Brown.
will either. Like you said, Arizona, I would trade him for a first-round pick and Patrick Peterson. They're drafting high this year. You use that pick on another defensive player. Draft another wide receiver in the second round. I mean, that's where we got Juju.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would send him to the Jets, and I would literally send him to one of these teams, a non-winning culture, and see how he does. Because right now he has it all in Pittsburgh. He's on a winning team. He's getting paid mega bucks. He has a Hall of Fame quarterback throwing to him. He's in the playoffs almost every year. And he's obviously an asshole, and he's not happy about that. So let's send him somewhere where he's not going to have any of this shit.
I just think this shows that kind of, and Lucas, you got this right, actually. You said about how, like, all he cares about is his money. It's like, even whenever we were talking about Le'Veon, you said about how AB's the same exact way. All he cares about.
It's insane. Like, it just blows my mind how someone can have this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play in an organization like the NFL, and they're all about themselves. They don't care about the team. It's literally a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's so annoying.
And I would also like to circle back to Tomlin in that the two best players on the Pittsburgh Steelers are who are the two best players? Do you guys think
Right now, in this moment,
Currently, right now, 2 weeks ago, if you had said who are the two best players, who would you pick?
it's Ben and AB.
Yeah.
Who are probably the two worst leaders in the National Football
Definitely
League?
Ben and AB.
So I kind of not saying that I feel bad for Tomlin, but whenever you have a quarterback who calls people out, and you have a diva wide receiver.
I don't know. I think Ben has more right to call people out as a leader than AB does and throw temper tantrums.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how wide receivers are. Wide receivers throw temper tantrums. But I guess my thing is, like, I think Ben says the right things, but then he just says it, like, Then he says another 2 sentences. It just
I
completely
think Ben
fucks it up.
Ben has a good like idea of what he wants to say, and like it makes sense to him. But when he does it, like in the way that he does it, like you shouldn't go on a radio show and blast your teammates.
No, you shouldn't.
You should go to your teammates in the locker room and say, hey, look, you ran this route wrong. You just need to do better. Like I have faith that you can do that.
And like even like the thing that pisses me off is like before Le'Veon Bell didn't show and how he said, or he texted him and said, hey, are you showing up? Like, Ben, that is such a low-hanging fruit for you to try to go after. Like, okay, you just make Bell look shittier, I guess, but it also looks like you just look like a cheap, like, oh, I tried to reach out to him, he didn't get back to me. Same with Bell. It's like, or not Bell, Brown. It's like, you might have called him, but did you really give a shit? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think Ben really gave it. Like, he does this sincere shit that I don't really think he's sincere about. I think Ben, he knows he's going to the Hall of Fame. He knows no matter what, he could lose the next 2 seasons, and he's still a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he'll still be looked at as a god in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
And I just think, I mean, Tomlin putting his foot down, we'll see what actually goes with this. I'm kind of surprised, like as you guys said, that he would actually sit AB in this must-win game.
That's what he needs to do. Right now, the locker room is so toxic. They need to get rid of AB. There's no way you can put him back in the locker room.
Let's go back to the original thing. Like, you say, Antonio Brown, you have an injury that's so bad you can't play that you need to sit out practice, and then you expect the coach to put you in literally on game day.
After you skip an MRI and 3 days of practice.
After you don't tell anybody how you're feeling or what's going on.
And you have your agent call. You don't even call yourself. You have your agent call.
I can see Saturday morning, hey, coach, I'm feeling better. Or, hey, my client's feeling better. Can you put him in for the game? Not the day of the game. That just blows. How do you think that's okay?
Well, AB's thought process was probably, this is a must-win game. This is for our season.
And I'm AB.
And I'm AB. I'm the best player on this team. They're not going to sit me. I can do this. And he figured, hey, I'm the $27 million man. They're not going to sit me. I'm the best wide receiver.
I think Tomlin did what was right.
I do too. This for once in Tomlin's like tenure.
Clip it.
He
He
did the correct thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the Steelers still won. I mean, granted, they started off slow.
They didn't look as good offensively.
But several offensive players said that they were dumbfounded that Brown wasn't playing. Like because none of them knew anything up until game time that Brown wasn't going to play because he didn't communicate with anybody.
Plus, the other thing is that two things I also wanted to highlight was how you said about how AB was there in the mink coat and then left at halftime. Like you just look like such a.
Oh, dude.
You just at that point, like, you just show, like, I'm better than the team.
Go look at any other player on any other team that's inactive that week. They're on the sidelines with their team and team apparel.
Yeah, like, if you were a team guy, not a selfish bitch like Antonio Brown, you'd be there, like, in a Steelers sweatshirt or whatever, coaching these young guys. Like, Juju, Washington, they're what, 21, 19 years old?
Yeah, they're 22,
young.
21.
Imagine having the influence of Antonio Brown coaching you while you're starting this game. Like, imagine having that help.
He's just not that kind of person.
And plus,
It's
I'm
disgusting.
sure he was all pissed off because he thought he was going to show up and play, and he wasn't able to play. So I'm sure he was all pissed off. Which, I mean, he didn't. I mean, we all agree he shouldn't have played if that's how you're going to act.
Yeah, but like, so it's like another thing. You have to understand that you're not playing. You did something wrong. Fucking take the hit and then support your team. Not cry about it.
And the other thing is that the other reason why I think it was good for Tomlin to do what he did was that if you have Juju and Washington, is Washington any good? I thought he wasn't good.
It's his rookie year. Like he's gonna be.
He's had a slow start. I think he'll be a good player.
Yeah,
he literally won the award last year for best wide receiver in college. Like he's a good player.
really?
He's just
Okay,
had a
He's
slow
made some
start.
sick plays this
He
year.
was a rookie
too.
this year, right?
Yeah, he's a rookie.
Okay.
He's made some good plays.
So the other thing is that if suppose you're Juju, which Juju seems not like AB. I don't know. It's hard to tell because he's so young.
I think he's like he has a personality like it's like I don't know. I don't want to say flamboyant, but like he has a personality that people know. But he's team focused.
Oh
Like,
yeah, Juju.
anything you hear is like I love the Steelers. Like I love playing for a team. Like
I don't think Juju's selfish one bit.
No, he's
I
a
mean,
good
I know
dude.
he likes the attention he gets, but I mean, who wouldn't like that attention? You know.
I agree. I'm just saying. I guess my thing is that if you're Juju and you see, oh, AB was the best wide receiver and he acted like he pretty much did whatever he wanted to,
That is exactly why you need to get rid of AB.
and whenever AB's gone, and then
Juju-
it's like, oh, hey, I'm the next
The
highest
rest
paid
of
wide
these
receiver.
wide receivers will see that, and they'll think that they can act like that too if they get that good.
And-
That's why you just need to get him out of the locker
it's
room.
like a virus.
Plus, it also shows like no player, because I mean AB's the best player. I mean, arguably him and Ben are the two best players. We'll get rid of our best player just because of how much of a cancer he is in the
That's how
locker
it
room.
should be.
Think of some of the best wide receivers in history that were divas. Randy Moss, Hall of Fame, no Super Bowls.
T.O.
Hall of Fame, no Super Bowls.
Ocho Cinco.
Chad Johnson, Hall of Fame, maybe, no Super Bowls.
Listen, I'm not.
And they were all cut by their team at some point because their teams got tired of it.
Listen, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying, it's just like I don't know. Like he's always had little like flare ups of like I want the ball. Blah, blah, blah.
The Gatorade smashing
But, like,
last year,
this is, like,
fighting
some-
with Haley on the sidelines. The whole locker room Facebook live thing he did during the playoffs a couple years ago. Like
This is just some next level shit, I guess.
This is the line. Like, you cannot go any higher than he has.
he's literally he's pushed the boundaries to as far as they can be pushed. Like Tomlin up until this point realized that Brown was the best player on the team, and Brown gave the Steelers the best chance to win every Sunday. So he couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that now that he knew that like the Steelers' playoff chances were pretty slim, that now is the time to actually act.
Well, and the other thing, which this is looking for Tomlin for the future with the Steelers, because my guess is I think his contract's up this year.
He
Or
has
next
one
year.
more year, so
My guess is there's probably a pretty good chance the Steelers will re-sign him, possibly.
it all depends on this next season.
Well, and so my thing is that you had all the previous guys know you as the player's coach, the hey, like I'm with you kind of deal. All these new players that they're going to start bringing in and stuff. If you start saying like, hey, I'm more of a stricter coach, I guess per se, like with Juju and stuff like that, and James Conner and stuff, you show you're a more stricter coach. It's easier for you to be stricter. You can't be, the player's coach and then out of nowhere be.
Yeah, you can't change like in front of the guys that are already there, that already know you as this other guy. No, I totally agree. That's why Tomlin needs to leave after next season.
So I'm curious. We'll see. I think it depends on if Ben retires next year. I think Tomlin. I'll be curious to see what they do.
Another thing is, this wouldn't be such a big deal if Tomlin would have disciplined Brown so many years ago when all this shit started happening.
Mhm.
It's just other players in the locker room see it as Brown is favorited because he's such a good player, whereas if any of them did this shit, they'd be cut in a day, and they see that as unfair, which I can see the point.
Oh, yeah.
If you're at your job and you do as good a job as anyone else, but this other guy's making more money than you, and he acts like a dickhead, and he gets slapped on the wrist, but if you would do something like that, you'd be fired the next day. You'd be pissed too if he was getting away with all this shit.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
Also, I've been saying Nate Washington this whole time. It's James Washington.
Yeah, James Washington. Nate Washington was
He
the
was a
bum.
former Steeler.
He was the bum that Ben won a Super Bowl with.
Wow.
I just wanted. You said James Conner. I'm like, wait, maybe it's James Washington. So I didn't fucking look it up.
I'm just saying.
You know what I
I'm
mean.
curious to see if they actually do trade AB, which I think at this point.
I don't
Who
even
knows
care
if
if they
they
trade him. Fucking take the cut. I just so tired of it.
No, I'd rather trade him
Obviously, yeah. I'm just saying.
and have that, because I mean, like I said, I would just try to get, if I can get another star, I would get another star. If not, get as much draft capital as you can and just say, hey Ben, sorry about
We're
that.
gonna get shitty offer. Like imagine if Antonio Brown had a good year, no drama, and we try to trade him. Imagine how much we will get compared to what we're gonna get because of his antics.
I just can't see
But we wouldn't
any
trade him if he
scenario where
saying
Antonio
if we
Brown's
had to.
back.
No,
Huh.
I just can't see it.
it's impossible to bring him back. You cannot bring him back if you're the Steelers.
I think that he will literally continue to self-sabotage himself
Until
until
he
needs to cut
he's
him.
traded.
and I think it needs to be like soon.
I would not trade him to anyone in our conference.
I also didn't mention this, but Ryan Clark, former Steeler,
Oh yeah.
works for ESPN now. He actually had a story about AB back when he got paid his big money a couple years ago, and how Ryan Clark warned the coaching staff that AB was the kind of guy that would act like this if you gave him money. And AB took offense to that, and yesterday called Ryan Clark an Uncle Tom, which I guess in African American culture is like very bad.
So they also brought that up
Let's see
on
what Urban Dictionary has to say.
on,
about
Undis- on Undisputed. They brought it up, and Shannon Sharp explained it that an Uncle Tom is pretty much it's an African American who sells out other African Americans
For the white man, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the white man.
Yeah, the
I
white
say in
man.
air quotes. To like further promote themselves, pretty much,
Yeah.
which is bullshit, because I mean,
But I mean, it just looks so bad for the Steelers right now. You have a black head coach. You have Antonio Brown freaking out, calling another black man Uncle Tom. It's just a
well, and
bad
plus
look.
like anytime Ryan Clark talks about the Steelers, he talks glowingly about the franchise and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So like I said, you get rid of You get rid of Bell and AB. Maybe, who knows? Maybe next year they come back more uniform and stuff.
Look, they have a really good young core right now. T.J. Watt, Juju, James Conner, fantastic players. They keep their mouths shut, you know.
And Ben just threw for over 5,000 fucking yards.
Yeah, Ben
but we
is
missed the
still
playoffs.
he's still
I know,
cooking.
but I'm saying like we still have potential in these next couple years.
Yeah, like I said, we'll see. I don't know how much longer Ben's going to play.
It all comes down to Ben.
But he has like the best offensive line, so I couldn't see him. It'd be different if he had a shitty offensive line and was
I think
taking
he
hits all
has
the time.
2 more seasons.
I would give him 2 more seasons too. Next year, if they lose and miss the playoffs, I think he's done though. If they make the playoffs, he has another season in him. But
If he wins the Super Bowl,
if he wins a Super Bowl,
He
retiring.
has to be out.
Oh, yeah, if he wins the Super Bowl, he's retiring. I guarantee that. Lucas, you want to go over the Urban Dictionary of Uncle Tom?
Yeah.
Your face kinda said a lot.
You were right, and it's just we'll just do a PG version. It's a sellout to people who like to suck up to the white oppressors.
And what was that from? Where's that?
Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary.
you know
So,
that's
yeah,
legit.
So that's
That's
pretty.
legit.
That's a pretty insane accusation to call someone.
All right. You guys have any more last minute Steelers stuff to cover for this week?
Please no.
Yeah, like Lucas said, I'm sick of hearing about the drama too. It's embarrassing
Oh,
as a
I
Steeler
can't-
fan.
I can't wait for the next podcast for AB to smuggle cocaine and Tomlin sit him or trade him to the Cleveland Browns.
I could literally see him doing something crazy like that, like something drug related, just something to get himself traded because he 100% wants out of Pittsburgh.
If you're the GM, just go to him and be like, AB, we will move you. Just shut the fuck up and don't ruin your trade value anymore. Because if you ruin your trade value, we won't trade you.
I'm surprised his agent literally hasn't come out and said anything. Like he's done no damage control, and his agent's probably gonna he's got to be shitting his pants because literally AB is throwing his money out the window too because
I mean, AB has his contract for 3 years at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he probably figures, hey, you have your contract. You have 3 years to make it up.
like
so.
I said, they have the Steelers are looking at a way to avoid it. So
All right. Well, now we can talk. We can go away from the Steelers and go to some actual playoff teams. Wild card weekend, baby.
woo.
Let's go. This is going to be a little bit of we're going to go with a little preview and also picks. We're going to do this kind of together. All right, boys?
So preview pick.
What happened to the regular season? picks? Do you have those stats?
The regular season you talk about. So we're going to go through the list. Chantz
Tie.
got 161 points
With the bronze medal.
with the
All right.
bronze medal. Lucas at 175 points.
Not bad.
And then Tyler coming in at 180 points.
Ooh, I almost
Look at
almost
that.
came back.
I won that regular season.
It was
Give me my money.
Good fight, good fight.
I tell you what, if I actually, like halfway through, I was like, I should just start doing a bunch of dumbass ones, like how Chance kind of did the past
And
2
then I
weeks.
started trying.
And then I was like, wait a minute, I could win this. So, if you need all your gambling bets from here on out, I'm going to start tweeting them. Just random games. So, playoffs starting though, whole new set, and we'll see what goes from there. All right. So the first game, Saturday, the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans.
It's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of good games this weekend actually.
It's like they're going to be playoff games or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
But there's not like a bad team in the playoffs this year, which is like good.
That is true, yeah.
But I guess I'll go first. So the Colts beat the Texans in Week 14, so that was like 3 weeks ago. It was a close game, but I think the Colts are going to win again. I think that I trust Andrew Luck more than Deshaun Watson in this game. This is Watson's first playoff game, and I just think the Colts are hot. They're just going to keep rolling.
Lucas?
I do like Luck over Watson, but Hopkins, he hasn't dropped a pass all year.
Oh,
Like
dude.
that's a legit stat. He has not dropped one pass all year.
That's
It's like
wild.
116-0 or something. Something ridiculous.
It's 110-0.
100, yeah, it was close.
110.
110 to
Plus, he
0.
also had catch of the year that didn't count. Do you remember that catch?
Yeah.
He like caught it on his ass or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's gonna be so close. I think the Texans they had a really hot, or I guess not a hot start, but like a hot middle. Colts have been rolling lately. I'm gonna go Texans, but I'm not gonna be surprised if Colts win.
I'm gonna go Colts.
I'm
on
just
this
riding
one.
the Texans. I think they're my AFC team without the Steelers.
Wow, that's big stakes going on right there. I'm gonna go Colts with this one. I think Andrew Luck. I just trust Andrew Luck more than I would trust Deshaun Watson. And you also gotta remember, if the Colts would have won one game, they would have been the number
they would have been the
3
3 seed. They would have home field over the Texans.
So it's like they're both clearly evenly matched, and I just think the Colts have been on just such a tear.
I want my boy J.J. Watt to win the Super Bowl.
I want my boy Andrew Luck to show that he's a legit,
And was that
super legit.
Sorry, that Colts rookie, was it linebacker or something? He had like the most tackles in the league.
This year?
Yeah, that was the Dallas Cowboys rookie.
I thought it was the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts have the defensive rookie of the year probably. I can't remember his last name.
But the tackles leader is the Dallas Cowboys linebacker. What's his name?
Van Noy. No, not
No,
Van Noy.
Van Der Esch.
Van Der Esch, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, Colts got a solid defense. So I was going to use the Texans defense against the Colts, but like the Colts shut out. I don't know who they shut out a few weeks ago, but
The Cowboys.
yeah, they're solid. I don't know. It's gonna be so
It's
close.
gonna be- it's
this
gonna
is
be-
literally like they could probably face each other 10 times or 100 times, and it could probably go 50-50.
Yeah, they're really evenly matched.
I'm telling you.
I'm just gonna pick the Texans.
I'm telling you right now, Colts. They're going to be the next, guaranteed. Next year, they'll probably be 1 or 2 seed.
I don't know.
Well,
In the
before
playoffs.
Andrew Luck got hurt, the Colts were in the divisional round and the AFC Championship game.
Listen to this. Next year, they have $123 million in cap space,
They're gonna get Lev Bell too.
and they have
That's insane.
they also have like 12 picks this year. Dynasty coming, boy. You have your quarterback locked down.
Your
and-
offensive line is stout.
Dude, he's getting what? What's he getting paid? He's not even getting paid like stupid money either. Like,
no, and he's on like a second contract too. So
And the stadium is named after me, so it's a Lucas Oil Stadium.
how good's your oil?
It's wet.
all right.
Is it
Okay.
dense?
Greasy. It's greasy.
All right, the Saturday night game is the Seattle Seahawks at Dallas Cowboys. Guys, I'm torn on this one.
I'm picking Seahawks, just pure Cowboy hate. I hate Dak Prescott so much. I hate looking at him.
Why do you hate Dak Prescott?
Just look at him. That's why.
I actually don't have a problem with
I
Dak
think he's
Prescott.
overrated. I think he's just like, he just looks like just a bitch. I don't know.
Chance?
I'm going with the Seahawks.
And they're like, yeah, Seahawks are good. Like they had a
Yeah.
rough start, but they're fucking.
The
they're a
Cowboys.
wagon.
The Cowboys have a defense and they have Ezekiel Elliott. And if you shut down Ezekiel Elliott and make Dak throw the ball, you're gonna fucking win 99 out of 100 times. I think the Cowboys are gonna choke hard because that's what the Cowboys do best. I don't trust Jason Garrett as a coach. I trust Pete Carroll as a coach. I don't trust Dak Prescott as a quarterback. I trust Russell Wilson as a quarterback. And the Seahawks' rushing attack is just as good as the Cowboys, if not better. So I'm going with the Seahawks.
And Seahawks are that team like where they used to be good, then they kind of fell off. So people aren't really like thinking about the Seahawks. Like when you think of a Super Bowl contender, you don't think of the Seahawks.
Russell
they're
Wilson has
sleeper.
never lost against Dallas, too. So.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, well, Seahawks
Where are they at?
In Dallas.
isn't at Dallas. It's at Jerry's World. So
So you know you could have that big ass jumbotron. And
I think the majority, like 100% of my hate for Dallas Cowboys goes strictly to Skip Bayless. I fucking hate Skip Bayless
It's
so
up there.
much. Dallas has a really good defense. I think they have a good defense. I think their running back is probably top 3 running back in the game right now.
He's I'd put him in number 2.
Okay. Dak, he's not like the franchise quarterback, but he's going to be the franchise quarterback. He's decent enough, I'd say.
I hope so. I hope he's
I hope he gets paid a shit ton because that way Dallas is screwed. But
exactly.
and I mean Amari Cooper is a legit receiver. But Seattle.
And Seattle has so much more playoff experience.
Oh, yeah.
It's like not even close.
It's just like
I'm going to take the coach that has the Super Bowl win over the coach that has done nothing but choke his entire tenure.
Even not just the coach, the players.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the whole culture. They
Yeah.
know that they're going to choke. Even the fans know they're going to choke.
all right, guys, I'm going Seattle. You talked me into
There
it.
you
You really didn't have to talk me into it too much because I
Say,
wanted to
what
pick.
do you mean?
I wanted to pick Seattle, but at the same time, I wanted to convince myself not to. On my drive home today, I was like, I should pick Dallas because I bet you Dallas will win.
Does
But
he get the win?
but it's Seattle. It's my team. By the way, Seattle coming to Pittsburgh. Is that trash
Trash
deer
Deer
at
live.
Heinz Field?
That'd be a good game to go
Should I send them an email about some press passes?
Yeah, tell them we want to do a podcast on the sideline.
What do you think? What do you think would happen if we said, "Hey, we have a podcast and we want some press passes"?
It's worth a shot, honestly.
The worst they could do is say no.
Yeah.
That is true. I'll send some. I'll talk to some people. We'll see what we can get going. All right, next game is the Los Angeles Chargers at the Baltimore Ravens. This actually game happened a couple weeks ago, but in Los Angeles. So will the Chargers get their revenge, or will Baltimore keep running behind Lamar Jackson, take him to the promised land?
This is just like the Texans and Colts. Like you want to pick Chargers just because of their record and like how they played this season compared to like the Ravens had that really bad, like halfway through the season. But I don't know. Like it's just Lamar Jackson is such a wild card. Like I think he's so overrated. He's just playing like I think their defense is literally the only reason why they're in the playoffs.
It's a legit reason.
Yeah, but I'm just saying people are like, oh, Lamar Jackson's the next fucking savior of the NFL because he's so good. But I'm gonna pick the Chargers. I think Phillip Rivers deserves to be here. I think he's gonna try to win because he doesn't have much time left.
Is he dying?
He's my guy.
Phillip Rivers dying?
He's old.
Oh, man. R.I.P. Phillip Rivers.
So, if I'm in the AFC, the one team I don't want to play right now is the Ravens. Like, they're that one team that could literally beat anybody on any
crazy.
given Sunday, and they do it in, like, the most unconventional way, like, in today's NFL. Like, Lamar Jackson broke the rushing record for most rushes by a quarterback, and he didn't start until week 11. Like, think about that. So in 6 weeks, he rushed more times than any quarterback in NFL history, which is insane.
Because he doesn't. I mean, his throwing isn't developed. And
Oh, yeah.
running is, I mean, in college, what was he known for? His fucking running more than his throwing. You know what I mean?
But that defense is it's fucking insane, and they already upset the Chargers once, which that's gonna be in the Chargers' minds. They know that this shit already happened and it couldn't happen again. I think the Ravens are gonna win this game.
Freaking Baltimore.
Not only are the Cowboys known as chokers, but Phillip Rivers and the Chargers are known as big playoff chokers, and I think it's gonna come back.
Yeah, I actually agree with Chantz on this one. I think, literally, I could not think of a more dangerous team than Baltimore. That would have been my pick. If you guys would have said, like, if it would have been me on the quick fire, I would have said Baltimore, because Baltimore is just playing crazy. They're at Baltimore. I mean, if they would have lost that game against Cleveland, they would have been a wild card. Would they have been a wild card, or were they?
They would have been out.
Oh,
They would have been out completely.
They would have been the best team that would have not made the playoffs by far.
It's also part of my hate for the Ravens. I don't want to pick the Ravens.
Oh, I hate them too, but their defense is very
the
impressive.
defense is legit.
Oh, I know. It's literally just blows
Not only
my
this,
mind.
but their head coach was going to get fired this season, and then they just signed him to a contract extension.
Oh,
last
they get a
week.
contract
Oh, yeah.
extension? Wow.
So it's like they're playing. Not only are they playing for their coach, but like they're playing for each other. They're like a unified locker room. I mean, even look at Joe Flacco, dude. The guy got benched, and he's not acting like a diva wearing
a
a
team
mink coat.
guy.
He's coaching up fucking Lamar Jackson on the sideline.
Does he? What's his contract? Does he still have a couple more years? Or
He's
Yeah,
Chantz.
he has a couple years, but they're gonna trade him.
damn, dude, wild.
So Flacco to the Giants.
Lucas, would you then be a Flacco fan?
Eli came out today and said that he's gonna come back next year.
I didn't think. Wait, I thought he said on the radio that like it wasn't. It was up in the
Yeah,
air still.
he said he would come back if they'd have him. Basically,
Well, I hope he goes somewhere else. I don't want him to be a Giant.
he could go to Jacksonville with Tom Coughlin, and
He'd go to Pittsburgh.
We'll see. We'll see.
I don't want him in Pittsburgh. Stay,
Could
stay
split
away from
roles
Pittsburgh.
with Ben.
Imagine if they did something crazy. Both quarterbacks standing back there in the shotgun. You don't know who's gonna do what.
Just
That's
let,
wild.
fuck AB. Let's put Eli out wide.
Dude,
Let him-
this is what I
He still
want
play
to
for
see.
the team.
I want to see Eli take it and just hand it off to Ben, and Ben just fucking bust 2.0.
I
Drive
want
right up the
to
middle.
see Eli get on Ben's back and hold the ball, and just Ben piggyback him to the end zone.
All right. The last game, wild card, is the Philadelphia Eagles at Chicago Bears.
This is a true wild card game because if you could name a bigger wild card than fucking Nick Foles right now,
Oh, dude.
you're fucking
Is
dumb.
he back from injury?
Oh yeah, he's playing.
It's insane. Like the Bears are unreal this year. Like compared to how they've been. Khalil Mack, even Trubisky's playing solid. But the fuck, you can't pick against Nick Foles right now.
Not only this, but the Bears head coach was the Eagles offensive coordinator last year, who called the Philly special. You know,
Shit.
so like there's a lot of history in between these two teams. It's fucking insane. It's like the protege is going up against the fucking teacher.
The
whatever.
Eagles were just in the playoffs. They just won the Super Bowl. They have experience. Bears, they don't have like any playoff experience.
This is their first playoff game in 8 years.
Yeah, but their team's so good.
And
But-
they're at home.
But Nick Foles just wins games for some reason. I don't know who to pick.
He's got the best QBR in NFL history in the playoffs.
It's insane. Like he's not even good, but he just wins.
Yeah, but doesn't Flacco have some dumbass record like that where he's like super elite in like the fucking playoffs?
I think he has like the best
Only been in
touchdown
once.
interception ratio over like a playoff span. I think
I
he
could've
threw
swore
like 8 touchdowns, like no interceptions.
I could have swore Flacco had like some stupid like.
Oh,
playoff
he's got some dumb
where
record.
it's like, oh, he's like super elite in the playoffs or whatever, but it's like you have to make it there first.
I don't know. I'm gonna pick the fucking Eagles. I can't pick against them, even though I think they're not as good of a team, but they're gonna win for some reason because Nick Foles is the quarterback, and they call plays around Nick Foles. They call it differently than they do with Wentz.
Yeah, I'm torn on this game. Like really
I
fucking
don't know
torn.
who to pick.
Like I said, this weekend has like 4 great games. Like there's not a game that you don't want to watch because anything could happen in any game. But I think that Chicago is going to try to outcoach the Eagles, and I think it's going to backfire on them. I think they're going to try to get too creative and do too many stupid offensive plays, and it's going to backfire. And I think Big Dick Nick is going to lead the Eagles to victory. Only because I want to hear the quarterback controversy some more.
So I'm gonna go Bears on this one. I'm gonna pick the Bears to win this, just
I
because
think
they're
they're more of a complete team,
It-
but
it's-
you can't pick against Nick
this is
Foles
the
for
thing.
some reason.
the Bears are supposed to win this game,
That's the problem.
but it's like you could see Philadelphia winning this game.
Easily.
You could, yeah.
I just want to see.
It's
Mitch-
so hard to
It's
pick
like,
against Nick
do
Foles.
you trust Mitch Trubisky or do you trust like the Bears
no.
defense is gonna?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, do you trust the Bears defense
do you
versus
think-
Philadelphia?
Dude,
You can't pick against Nick Foles, no matter how good the other team is. He's gonna win somehow.
He hasn't lost a game that he started in the last couple, like 2 seasons or something.
What happens? What happens if the Eagles win this game? Who do they play? Who would they play if they?
The Saints.
And
And
then
then go to New Orleans.
What if they go to New Orleans and just wallop?
If they would go to New Orleans and beat New Orleans, the Eagles would be in the Super Bowl.
What would the Eagles do at that point?
I don't know, so I hope it happens.
If they win another Super Bowl with Nick Foles, like
And without Carson
I don't. It's such a hard like. Even if what if he wins like Super Bowl MVP again and he's like a 2-time Super Bowl MVP?
as a backup,
do you trade him then?
Maybe you just like keep Carson Wentz, so Carson Wentz plays like the first 3 quarters of the season, and then like you put in Nick Foles and you get him
Well,
hot right
How long?
before the
How long
playoffs.
is Wentz's rookie contract on for?
He's probably got 2 more years.
If
maybe.
Wentz would've-
I would keep Foles that long.
if
And
Wentz
then,
would have finished the season, they wouldn't even be in this situation. They're only in the playoffs because Nick Foles came back.
Exactly.
It's fucking
yeah, but
wild.
Lucas, if you're running a team, would you pick Nick Foles to be your full-time
No.
quarterback?
No, but
That's
but you
what I'm
can't.
saying.
But you can't pick
You
against
can't, you
them.
can't drop him. You can't cut him.
But like if you're the Eagles GM, what would you do right now?
I would literally sit and think for fucking days.
You have to find ways to keep both.
In your dream scenario, the Eagles won back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Nick Foles, 2-time MVP, Super Bowl MVP, and Carson Wentz is like, "Hey, what's going on here? What do you say?"
You'd have to try to keep both. You can't keep Nick Foles. He's older, but you can't cut him because he wins for some reason. You can't cut Carson Wentz because he has so much potential and he's young. It's
He's
such
good.
A,
I
it's
mean,
such a
Carson
fucked
Wentz is a good
situation.
quarterback.
I would.
He
I
could
would
be better.
I would re-sign Nick Foles to like a cheap contract on the salary cap hit, but I would give him like a $5 million signing bonus that like doesn't count for it, and just give him $5 million. Like, hey, here you go.
This is for winning us too.
This is just stay back. We'll put you in for the playoffs. You know,
Be like, you are Big Dick Nick.
It's so
Think
weird.
about it.
if he wins another Super Bowl, he will go down as a fucking legend. He's already a legend in
You
Philly,
think-
but they will tear down the Rocky statue and build Big Dick Nick statue right there.
If he wins another Super Bowl MVP and wins the Super Bowl this year, do you think he's a Hall of Famer? Nick Foles.
No.
No.
Nick Foles. What? He has just as many Super Bowls as Big Ben.
There's
No,
only
it's-
one quarterback in the NFL Hall of Fame, or the NFL history that's won 2 Super Bowls and isn't in the Hall of Fame. I can't remember who it is, some old-ass dude, but
It's not just about Super Bowls. You got to go like career stats.
Lucas, is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, because he's won 2 Super Bowls and he has career stats.
Yeah, he has the most interceptions in his time.
So he has a lot of yards.
Sorry, Luke. I'm just
I don't
messing.
know. I also don't think Eli Manning's a Hall of Fame quarterback
All right,
compared to his draft class of Ben and Phillip Rivers.
I think he'll get in, but it's one of those things where he has 2 Super Bowl.
I think
rings.
he'll
get
be
in.
overrated because of his name. I think he'd get in. I wouldn't put him in his first eligible year, but he'll get in his first eligible year because of his name.
I think it'd go for me personally. Probably go Ben first year, and then probably a couple years you'd eventually throw in Phillip. Maybe I don't see.
I think Eli's better than Phillip Rivers. I would.
It's like Phillip. Like if you look at their stats, Phillip Rivers literally has like identical stats to both of them. And it's crazy. All 3 of them are like the same cluster
Oh, dude.
of stats of interceptions, touchdowns, yards. Like it's stupid.
I think Eli Manning was better. Like his ceiling was higher, but his floor is lower. Like Eli Manning's worse than Phillip Rivers ever was.
Do you think Phillip Rivers hates Eli Manning? Because the Giants drafted, San Diego drafted Eli, and he didn't want to go there. And
So he got traded.
he demanded.
He went straight up
trade.
AB on him.
That's fucking wild.
Like you think it fucked up everything because the Steelers wanted to get Phillip Rivers too. They didn't even want Ben.
See, you know what's the crazy thing though? I think if we got Phillip Rivers, we would still have 2 Super Bowl.
Oh,
rings.
I do too.
Like that's what I'm saying. That's why it's so difficult. Because like if you swap Ben and Phillip Rivers, is it gonna be? I think it's the same situation
I
where.
think Ben's special.
I think if you put Eli in San Diego, I think he's a horrible quarterback.
Oh, I could see that.
I don't think he wins anything. I think he has worse stats than what Phillip has now.
Like I said, it's just crazy. Like those 3 quarterbacks are just crazy.
Oh,
'Cause,
it's one of the nuttiest draft classes ever, just because of the whole trade and all 3 quarterbacks are still there.
all 3 are franchise quarterbacks, like good franchise quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
All 3 are potential Hall of Famers. Like,
Wild, Lucas, wild. All right, that covers our playoffs. We'll see if anyone can take my crown of pick champion.
We'll see.
But Lucas, you can go ahead and talk a little bit of hockey talk for us, okay?
All right, so our boys, the true franchise of this city, an actual team that represents camaraderie and winning and just good people, is the Pittsburgh Penguins. All right? So last night they're coming off of a huge 7-2 win against New York Rangers. They're just embarrassing Hank Lundqvist. It's not even it's still funny. I was going to say it's not funny, but it's still funny.
I fucking love it.
It's insane what they can do to him. They're playing unreal hockey right now. It's so fun to watch. They're 3rd in the Metro behind.
1 point back from first place now.
Yeah, they have 50 points now, 22 wins. It sucks for the Eastern Conference because the Lightning they're playing unreal. They've only lost 7 games.
That's insane.
That's insane. They've won 15. They went 15-0-1 in December. I mean that's unreal hockey. So. Besides that, the Penguins are playing really good. They're 2nd in the Metro, behind Washington by 1 point. In the Eastern, they're 4th place, behind Lightning, Leafs, Capitals, 3 of the best teams in the league. They're playing really good hockey right now. And that's just what it is. It's fun to watch.
Now, the trade deadline's coming up, Lucas. Do you think the Pens need to make any moves?
It's hard to say, like, if you would ask me a month ago, you would want to get rid of some of your dead weight like Jack Johnson, but with his cap hit, you can't get rid of him.
Shout out Jack Johnson.
He's turning up too. He's playing solid.
I think the team's actually starting to mesh.
They are
really good.
Marcus Pettersson's really starting to set in. He looks phenomenal.
Oh, I love those those fucking
Tanner Pearson
acquisitions.
Tanner Pearson's playing out of his mind.
Now, where did we get him from?
L.A. for Carl Hagelin, which was a good pick because Carl Hagelin wasn't doing shit.
Yeah, and he was pretty pricey and kind of up there.
Now, what is he, like a defenseman?
He's a wing. He scored this beautiful goal yesterday. He's fucking cornered. I don't know. Like, I honestly don't think we need to do much. Like, I think if you do too much, you're gonna ruin the camaraderie.
I think that's what happened last year.
Yeah.
I think that the Brassard trade at the time fucked with the chemistry of the team, and it kind of backfired.
I really like the Brassard trade. I hope he stays. But I could see them dumping him on the trade deadline before, because this is his last year. He's due up for a decent contract. They're not going to resign him, so I think they're going to try to get rid of him. But I don't know what you can get back. And even if you would want to, you're going to ruin that camaraderie, like we said. Like, he's playing solid hockey. Like, he's not producing numbers-wise, like goals and assists, but he's playing good hockey.
Barring any injuries, I don't think the Penguins need to make any moves.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
You got Justin Schultz coming back pretty soon, so your defense, it'll get a boost. I like Ricola. I think he's a great defenseman. I wish he'd stay in the lineup.
He's like a good 6'7" defenseman. Once Schultz comes out, I wouldn't mind him bumping out.
Yeah, he'll probably be the seventh man out.
Yeah.
But as for the wings, like we're starting to get depth scoring on every line, which is good.
I could see maybe trying to pawn off like some of your fourth liners like Shahan, but you're not going to get much in returns. Like there's really not much we can do.
Yeah, I like the goalie situation. Matt Murray's actually playing out of his mind right now.
And DeSmith, like they're
and
both
DeSmith
playing solid,
he's a solid fucking
which is
goalie
huge
too.
for them both because if you have that healthy competition, that's what Murray needs. Last time Murray had that, he had Fleury chasing him for the starter spot or whatever, vice versa, and Matt Murray won us 2 cups. Last year he didn't really have that, and it wasn't a great year. This year
He sucked dog dick last year.
Yeah, he had some personal problems too.
Bestiality. Yeah, he had some
What
personal
was the
problems.
personal problems?
His father passed away and he had 2 injuries. But yeah, he's playing great. He's 6-0 with like a 1-something goal against average his past 6 games. He's playing great hockey. It's not going to maintain. We're on a 7-game win streak. It's not going to last, but I'm not worried. I think we're going to still play good for the rest of the year.
Agreed.
Exciting. So that's always the thing whenever you have like that like winning, like you're like a winning team, but like you're clearly not the best right now. So it's like, do you make moves or do you just kind of?
Yeah, I mean it's still like a month away, or would you say a month?
It's closing like a month or something.
Yeah, and anything can happen in a month.
That's right. Whenever we go to this game here, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, Trash Tier Radio takes Penn's game live next Tuesday against Florida Panthers. We'll say second favorite team in the East. I love the Panthers. They're a sick club.
I bet you Crosby's gonna give me a sign stick. If you know what I mean.
Chirp him pretty good.
Dude, Lucas, how pissed would you be if I got something like that and you didn't?
I would literally stop doing this podcast. Probably wouldn't be your friend anymore.
Chance,
Probably
you
stop
still be my
watching the
friend?
Penguins.
Yeah, I think it'd be funny as fuck.
Well, I would give you the option. I'd wait for you to offer it to me because I know you would because you're that nice of a person.
Well, how pissed would you be if I offered it to Chance?
Oh, God. You know what? I wouldn't. I think, Chance, you deserve it too.
Thank you.
No, I'm glad I don't deserve it.
Quick
Don't.
question for you guys. So, if you went to a Major League Baseball game and you caught like a home run ball,
Give
or
it to the
something,
child. Give it to the child.
You would give it to the child.
Give it to the child.
If I had a child or if there's like
if there's just a random child
Give it
around
to the
you,
child.
you catch the home run ball.
I've never caught a foul ball, home
Neither-
run ball in a
neither have I.
stadium.
But
so I'd
if you
probably
did,
keep it.
If you caught the home run ball,
Give it to the child.
Eh,
Every time you give it to the child.
It depends on the
You are of age
circumstances.
and you give it to the child.
If I make
Yeah.
this sick catch, like, and no one has a chance, but, like, I've seen these videos where these dudes, like, push these kids out the
Oh,
way,
dude.
and then they keep it, that's fucked.
Dude.
But if I make this catch, like, or if I catch it in my beer or something, I'm
But-
fucking
dude,
taking it.
if you catch it and give it to a child, you know you're getting on Sports Center that night, and you know you get some good
Yeah,
karma.
But if I catch it in my beer and I chug that beer on camera,
well, you could do
that's getting on
that, but
Sports
you still
Center.
are
I
you
supposed to get
still,
on Barstool too.
are you still giving that ball away?
Yeah, I'd probably give it away because I don't care anymore. Like,
So-
if I see, like, if I was younger, I would want a foul ball, but why do I want a foul
Now,
ball
what if
right
it's
now?
an opponent's ball? Do you throw the ball back into
No.
the
Chuck
field?
it back onto
No,
the
I
field?
would.
You definitely give that one to a child then.
You
Because you
find
get
a-
the brownie points and you also don't have to touch
Yeah, you
that
find a
ball.
child in opposing
I always
team's
wanted to
jersey.
just throw a ball back onto the fucking field. Like, fuck you. Like, they do that in Chicago all the time.
Yeah, you hit a fucking player in the playoffs a couple or whenever that was.
Yeah.
I forget who it was, but
So, story from my childhood. I actually received the ball like
Really?
that.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's why you want to give it to a kid. You want to return
Yeah.
that favor.
Oh, except it wasn't. To be honest, though, it wasn't like a foul ball or like a home run ball. You know how like whenever they warm up in the outfield, they like then just like throw the ball into the.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. It was, I was right there, and the guy right beside me, he caught it, and then it was by, I think, Xavier Nady is who threw it.
I remember Nady.
And he just handed it to me. I was like, wow, that's legit. I still have the ball somewhere. I don't know where the ball is, but yeah, nowadays I'd be like, I don't give 2 fucks. At the same time, also, like, I don't really care about baseball enough to, like, actually cherish the ball.
Yeah, that's my
Closest
point.
thing that's ever happened to me like that was a section beside me wanted free hot dogs, and someone gave me their hot dog. So,
Really?
yeah.
Sick.
Did you cherish
I caught a hot dog in one of the fucking cannons one time.
Really?
Best moment of my life.
Did it taste good? It didn't taste like CO2 or anything?
It just tastes like they're hot dogs.
See, that's the one thing. I've never caught a T-shirt. I've never caught a hot dog. Never anything like that.
That
However,
was the only time. I go to so many sporting events like Penguin games. They drop shit all the time. Never anything.
I forget. I think me and Tina went to either a baseball game or maybe that was a hockey game. All I know is literally the section right beside us, same row, different section, one shit, and I was really pissed. It was like a $50 gift card or something like that.
I've never
I
been
think
on
it was
the.
baseball.
I've never been on a jumbotron either.
Well, we're gonna
Ever.
change that. We're gonna change that, Lucas. Are you
Yeah,
right?
yeah, being it, they look for people dancing and shit. I don't
Lucas,
dance.
you just gotta get all fucked up and get out. Get in the
I'll start
aisle.
flossing.
Lucas, are you prepared to paint Trash Deer Radio on your chest and flash it at the Pens game?
Yes.
Are you really?
No, not really.
Aw, come on, Lucas. You know you want to.
Showing off my milk bag body in front of 16,000 people.
Dude,
Hey,
who
dad
knows?
bods are in 2019. I'm just letting you know.
It's a milk bag.
I know, but dad bods are. That's where it's at.
I'm hyped though. It's gonna be a fun time.
And that's hockey talk for you.
That's hockey talk.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit of basketball here. Just a couple of things. Mainly the first round of the playoff, the All-Star votes, came out. And leading for the East is Milwaukee Bucks' Giannis Antetokounmpo at 991,000 votes, followed by Kawhi Leonard and Joel Embiid. And also Vince Carter is number 7 on the list. And Vince Carter probably plays like 15 minutes a game. And then for the guards, Kyrie Irving, Dwayne Wade, Kemba Walker. They're also in there, which I don't know why Dwayne Wade would be in there besides that this is his final season. So
I think that's. Wouldn't you say that's Vince Carter's? Like he's close to retirement too.
listen, Vince Carter's like 41 years old, and he's still. I don't think he's ever going to stop playing. He'll be like 60 years old playing basketball for like some random ass team.
He just retired in my NBA franchise. so,
Really?
Yeah.
He just like keeps like maybe this will be his last year, but like see here's the problem with Vince Carter, is he wasn't like great enough to like I'm gonna stay with one franchise. So now he's like bouncing around. Like he was at the Kings last year. Now he's in Atlanta. Like he's just going from like lottery team to lottery team, just getting some playing time. Which hey, he's still making millions of dollars doing the things he loves. So who might have knocked him?
Can't blame him.
And then in the Western Conference, lead vote getter right now is LeBron James with over 1 million votes right now. Followed by Dallas Mavericks rookie Luka Doncic at 680,000 votes. Followed by Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, Paul George. And then the guards, this is the interesting one. So Steph Curry leads all guards at almost 800,000 votes. Number 2, guess who it is, Chance?
Russell Westbrook.
Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose.
Number 2.
You think those are all the Chicago fans voting for
Dude,
him?
I don't know. But yeah, Derrick Rose, number 2, followed by James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Klay Thompson. And Lonzo Ball is number 8 overall, and he can't even make a free throw.
Has he even do anything? I haven't heard about him since fucking Big
here's the
Baller
thing.
Brand dropped.
He's like so inconsistent, but like he's a really good. I think he's a good defender, and he does like he's kind of like a LeBron like super light. Like imagine if you had like a knockoff, like you have Coke, then you have Diet Coke, and then you have like a shitty knockoff of Diet Coke.
You have like
RC Cola.
Yeah, RC Cola.
Diet, RC Cola
shit.
Diet. So like if LeBron James is Coca-Cola, Lonzo Ball would be like RC Diet.
Wow.
So it's like you could definitely still drink them,
It's doable, but you don't want it.
but like you don't necessarily want them. You know what I mean? He flashes Diet Coke, but he's never Diet
I
Coke.
refuse to drink generic soda.
Who the hell doesn't?
I don't mind some of it.
I barely like soda, and generic soda is like the biggest turnoff.
Fair enough.
You couldn't spend like the extra $1 to get the brand name. Like,
It is very true. Actually, it's like you can't spend the extra like 20 cents and get that Mountain Dew 2-liter. But yeah, I think it's curious to see Derrick Rose at the number 2 spot. That's the thing that stuck out to me the most is that I could see him getting in. Now, fan votes only count for 50% of starters, so it's curious to see. I could literally see him getting all the way in because he's had a really good year this year. I don't want to say he doesn't deserve it, but like
Over under how many games are left? Probably like 40.
probably
50?
like, over halfway. I'd say
Um,
like there's more than 40.
How many games left until he breaks both his ankles or another ACL? I'm gonna say
Over under on
did
6.5.
he get hurt last year?
he hasn't been hurt every single year.
I actually think he might have recently like rolled an ankle or something like that, which you never know with them paper ankles.
I don't even know much about him, but I know he gets hurt all the time.
He was the youngest MVP ever for the Chicago Bulls. He blew out his whole game was based on athleticism.
He's got glass bones and paper skin. He's like that dude from SpongeBob.
Yeah, and so he blew out his ACL or something like that, and was pretty much fucked. Because whenever your game's based on athleticism, if you can't move your knee, man, you kind of. But then he went to New York. Then he did a little bit in Cleveland. Now he's in Minnesota, and under Tom Thibodeau, his original coach, Tom Thibodeau, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. Yes. So yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see good old Derrick Rose and Dwayne Wade dueling it out in the All-Star game. Like it's
Wouldn't that be
fucking
something?
2006.
Wouldn't that be something?
Actually, it wouldn't be. Like it's 2011 or something. So, but that's pretty much it for basketball. Next week I'll probably talk a little bit more MVP votes. But for video game talk, I actually want Chance to tell us a little bit about this new game that he found online that he just rants and raves about and some of his personal experience.
So, let me get this straight. This game has been in early access for 12 years.
No, it hasn't.
I swear to God. Just finally released 1.0 last week. It's called Kenshi. Kenshi. Okay.
I highly recommend looking up YouTube videos.
Made by one person for 12 years. So it's like a strategy game / RPG. There's no objective, nothing. You just do whatever you want. There's like 10 different things you can start out as, like slave, fucking like soldier,
Farmer.
a farmer. Like it's just a bunch of stupid shit. A hobo with a dog, like. And basically, you just go out and you just do whatever. You can fucking mine. You can build a city. You can fucking kill people. There's cannibals that kidnap you. There's slavers that kidnap you and sell you to slavery. It's a
Is it
fun.
all NPCs?
Oh yeah, it's all NPCs. It's a single player game, but you can like recruit people and then you can play as them as your character. You level them up. It's hard as fuck. It's literally really hard. It's like the Dark Souls of fucking strategy RPG games.
Is it like legit? Like the gameplay's actually good? Like the controls and mechanics and shit?
So you basically just click and shit.
Lucas, have you not looked up the graphics for it?
No.
Dude.
I
Chance was
think I've
sending me-
seen a picture, but like I never watched gameplay.
Literally, it looks like RuneScape.
Chance sent me a Snapchat of it, and I literally could not tell what was going on the screen.
The controls are also exactly like RuneScape. You literally just click shit, but
all
it's
know.
it's so fun. Like in the game, you can lose your limbs in battle, or like get eaten by animals, and like your guy will crawl. Or say you lose your legs, you can crawl until you bleed out, and then if you manage to heal yourself, you can be crippled for life until you find robotic limbs, and then you can put them on your guy. You can beat people with limbs. You can feed people to animals. It's something else. It's fun as fuck though.
I actually thought about picking it up. Chance sold it up so much that I thought about
It's
it.
like a $10 game.
It's $30.
It's $30. Yeah.
Paying $30 for RuneScape.
Look, it's
Dude,
not
but with
RuneScape.
RuneScape, you can't have cyber legs and stuff.
I'll look up some
Or peg
gameplay.
leg.
Literally, like if you watch gameplay, you probably wouldn't understand it. Like I literally can't explain it. Like this game is so fun, but gameplay you have to experience it because gameplay will make no sense to you. It looks like a bunch of people fucking running around doing stupid shit.
Chance is actually
As
gonna
Tyler
stream
said, the graphics are not the best, but graphics do not make games.
No, that is very true. Graphics do not make games. Chance is actually going to
I think
stream
it
it.
helps.
I would stream it. Carnage, big Twitch streamer, he's actually been streaming it this week, and he's had a fucking blast with it. So
Here, Lucas, I'll rotate the computer around. Chance, you've also have started to play Battlefield 5, have you not?
yeah, I started playing Battlefield.
All right,
5.
is it actually enjoyable, or is it kind of like...
Okay, so how do I put this? It is not anything like Battlefield 4, if that's what you were hoping for, or any of the past Battlefields. I think it's more fun than Battlefield 1, but that's just because I like the World War II setting better than World War 1. Some of the maps are kind of bullshit. I only play, Grand Operations, because it actually feels like war. I don't play like Conquest or anything, so I can't recommend those game modes. But I think Grand Operations is pretty fun. It's a good game. If it's still on sale, I'd pick it up. It definitely ain't worth $60, but not too many games are nowadays. Yeah, so if you're a Battlefield fan, I would recommend it. That's not any worse than any of the other ones. I actually think it's better than Battlefield 1. So
It's no longer on sale, at least not at GameStop.
it's not on sale at all.
Not on Games. Oh, wait. Download is 30.
So if $30, I'd buy it.
I tell you what, I thought about using like a $15, I'll use it on my GameStop points and thought about picking it up for $15. Thought about
There
it.
you go.
Tempting.
Do you have Battlefield 1, like in disc?
Yeah.
Trade it in.
How much do you get on trade-in?
I don't fucking know.
I'll find out here.
Probably like $10 at least.
Probably not even worth it.
Yeah, but then you're only paying $5 for it.
I heard you can like access Battlefield 1 and maybe even 4 from the menus.
Yeah, you could do that in Battlefield 1 too. It's weird. You have to
I
have
noticed
you have to own the games. and then
And it probably all has to be like download.
yeah, it
too.
all has to
Like,
be
it can't
digital.
So just like quick links.
Which
Yeah,
Not even
didn't-
worth it.
Didn't they actually recently? Didn't they recently make Battlefield 1 like free to own?
It
Yeah,
was
they
free.
actually did that the week before Christmas. I'm pretty sure. All the DLC in the game was free to play, which made no sense because it just basically divided the player base.
Okay, so now, Chance, guess how much I would get if I were to take in my copy of Battlefield 1? How much credit would I get?
Okay, well, I'm gonna take a guess. I looked up. I was gonna trade in 2 games today. I looked up Forza 7 and NBA 2K18, and NBA 2K18 was $2 trading.
Oh my god.
Forza 7 was actually 15. So
Yeah,
that,
Forza will get you a lot of money.
that wasn't too bad. But with Battlefield 1, I bet it's like $4.
Lucas, do you have a guess? Or don't
9.95.
55 cents.
Wow.
Like, it's no wonder
That's
it's no wonder you see
insane.
those videos on
55.
Facebook and shit of people flipping out in GameStop. Like, it's literally a fucking scam.
It's ma'am. Yeah, dude, that alone would make me want to fucking kill someone.
That's
on that
like
one.
I saw $2 for fucking NBA. Dude, that's even worse
Dude,
than that.
Literally 55 cents. It would cost me more to drive it to GameStop and trade it in than it would for them to pay
Is
me.
2K18 the newest game?
No,
Yeah,
it was
19
last
isn't
year's.
I didn't know 2K19. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I
So,
mean,
How much was it? $2?
It was
But still, you'd
$2.
think it'd be like
That's
$10.
I have I have 15 through 19 because I refuse to trade in the old ones. 'Cause
That's
I'm not
about how much is the new one? $60.
Yeah.
So you bought $61 in those 3 games. With 15.
At 15, 16, 17.
he maybe has 60
so-
cents with those 3 games.
Counting the newest one, you probably have $61.
If that.
I know one time I think I was turning in like a bunch of old what was it, PlayStation 2 games.
Oh,
like
yeah.
this was
I used to
back.
clean house.
This
on
was
PS2
back when
games.
like PlayStation was still it was still like viable or whatever. Like people still had them and played them and shit. It was like back in 360 PS3 days, and I was trading in like all my fucking games. Like I think I was trying to buy like Fallout New Vegas or something, like pre-order it. So I like traded all my PlayStation 2 shit because I never played it. And like the guy was like going through them, and there was like some are like $1, some are like $5. You get to this one, I can't remember what it was. It was some shitty Japanese game I got one time for Christmas. Like the whole game was in Japanese, and he just looked at me and he's like, "Yeah, I give you like a nickel for this." He's like, "You might as well just keep it. I'm not even gonna bother taking it because it's a waste of my time to like process it." And I was like, "Whatever." So I just threw it in the trash when I went out of the store.
No, literally, GameStop, whenever I used to work there, if it was $1 or less, I was not allowed to take it. Because it was useless for us. Because who would want a copy of Battlefield 1 right now? Whenever the newest one's out. And it was literally free like 2 weeks ago.
That's probably why it's like that, because it's free.
That is true.
I see, I don't normally trade in games because I think it's such a ripoff. I just recently did it. And I was like, I felt stupid afterward. I didn't feel stupid because I traded I think I traded in like Forza Horizon 2. Because like I just had the third one. And like just some other like random ass games that like were worth it to kind of trade in. But like I never played.
I only traded sports games. Like I try to trade them in like a week before the newest one comes out, before they kind of drop in value.
Is that like the premium dollar amount right there?
I mean that's what I do. I don't know if it's premium. It's probably a little less than premium, but as soon as a new one comes out, like you're fucked. So I always try to like Madden. I started buying digitally, but like NHL every year, I trade in the oldest one like a week before the new one comes out.
I mean, yeah, even if you only get a few dollars.
Because I'm never gonna play like the
Exactly.
older version.
You're
of
never gonna
sports
play it
game.
again, so you might as well get a couple dollars worth.
Well, see, so like
Good
with
point.
with 2K, I always get it on Black Friday because on Black Friday it's always $30, no matter what. So the past 3 years I've gotten it, so it's like I can't trade in before the new one comes out. And plus, like, I spent all that extra money on the VC in the game, man. I gotta make sure my character's worth money now.
Yeah, I'm not buying any VC in that game.
So, all right, that right there is episode 20 for us, boys. Anything you'd like to say to the fans after 20 long episodes?
Thank you for the countless number of views that we're getting on our episodes. It really means a lot.
I just want to point out that during New Year's, at one point, Lucas put on Duel of Fates, which is the Star Wars theme
One
song.
of the greatest Star Wars songs.
Yeah. You would know it. If you don't know it, then you have no idea what we're talking about. But if you're a Star Wars fan, you definitely know what we're talking about. At one point, Lucas was so fucked up. He was underneath your coffee table in the living room, and he couldn't get out. But he was just laying under it, and he was like fucking stringing the violin like
Air
so
violin.
crazy.
I remember
Like
I
his
was,
mouth is
singing.
just going. It was literally one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
You were actually
There's
that
video evidence
intoxicated?
of it somewhere. Bro, I was
I have a video. I'll show
destroyed.
you a video. I have a video. of it.
Also, I also have a video of Lucas flossing and doing the Fortnite kick
I got
dance.
so sweaty from that.
Dude, I was actually impressed. Like, you were my hero that night because I wanted to do it, but I never will do it. Or at least not while people can watch.
I don't have any dignity left.
Lucas, how many times have you practiced that? Just out of curiosity.
I just watched Tim the Tatman do it.
Okay, so that's like this video is Mike Cook and Jim sword fighting with I think cat toys during this, and
Yes.
then I think at one point I go on Lucas's face. This was like 3 minutes long, and I put
I
this
think
on
I
my
have, like,
Snapchat story.
I put it in the group chat.
It was
It
horrible
was?
quality. I
I
think.
know, but you can still see it.
Dude, how are they so horrible? Like, on Snapchat, it's such clean quality,
Yeah,
and then...
it compresses.
It's like Snapchat is so weird. Like it fucks with your camera, and then once you save it, it
Yeah,
compresses
right
it into a shitty quality.
Turn the volume on too.
If he has just his face, you can watch that. I know. I think it was Mike Cook's girlfriend. Yeah, dude. I remember it like at like 3 different times at that point. I was like, Lucas, why are you under the table? He's like, bro, I got under here and I can't get back up. And I was like, all right, bro.
Dude, Lucas, you were gone.
Kind of remember that.
Lucas, you were
It
trash.
was a good time.
You were
It was
white
having
girl
a fun
wasted.
time.
How did you get under the table to begin with? Like, what were you doing?
Why are you asking me?
I don't know, dude.
I know.
Was it like after we took like those group pictures and then you just like slid off the chair under the table?
I think I crawled in from the other side.
You crawled
Like
in.
I crawled from the open side into the couch side.
Yeah,
for
that's
some
exactly
reason.
what you did. I remember watching you crawl
I
in.
don't know. man.
What? Dude.
Dude, you know what's the upsetting thing? We didn't get a Trash Deer radio pick on that night. I thought about it. We got a...
We got an Overwatch squad.
Yeah, we got
Trust
one
your
with
sports.
Jim and Evan and Pinto in it.
So, I'm just saying, but we didn't get like the 3 of us.
But I mean, I could just like crop that.
Could have put it on our
all.
holiday card.
I was actually thinking about doing that. I didn't know if that'd be a dick move. Like all we gotta do is just.
Are we all together?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
us
dude, that's
three.
not a dick move at all. That's a good picture right there.
Terrible picture. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, post that. Post
Like
that.
a trash
All right,
bag.
This is going.
Goes along with Trash
We gotta
Deer.
look at the other ones first.
Goes along with Trash Deer right there. But all right, we'll sort through the pictures off air. So until the next episode, we'll see you then.
See ya.
See you then.